Welcome to the ESL Teachers Lounge, Episode 2, a space to share, learn, and laugh as ESL teachers. Hello, it's me, Joy, and thanks so much for joining me again today. So no matter where you are in the world, and what time zone you are in, I hope you're all feeling wonderful. Really wonderful. We would like to thank everyone who joined us last time. And last time we talked about some tips on teaching young beginners with zero English. We hope that you guys really have gotten great ideas from that. Okay, now I know you are waiting for the questions that we would be answering today. And let's jump into the first one. Okay, let me grab my phone. And this one actually is from Arda. Arda is in Bursa, Turkey. Bursa. I hope I pronounced that right, Arda. I'm not sure what time it is right now in Turkey, but I hope you are feeling wonderful, and we thank you for sending out this question. So let me grab it and see. The question is, how can I help shy students speak more during lessons? Oh yes, I remember asking myself the same exact question. And I know you guys have too. This can definitely be a challenge, especially if you're used to students who warm up quickly, right? Let's say you've been teaching for quite a while, and then all the students that you've encountered are, so easy to build rapport with, and here comes a new one that is very shy, and you feel like you've done enough, warm-ups, and this student's still very shy and doesn't really talk very much. I've had a handful of students like this, and here's the key. The first goal is to connect with them right from the very first class, I mean. So right from the very first class, you have to connect with your student. Okay? You want to win the student's heart. I know I've mentioned this in the previous one, but this is very important that you know this by heart. You want to win the student's heart. Okay? Building trust is everything. You need to help them understand that it's okay to make mistakes. That your classroom is safe. Your classroom is a safe space for them. And you're there to guide and support them. I actually really make this things known to my shy students. I want to remind them that it's okay to make mistakes, and I'm here to guide and support you, and this is the safest place where you can make mistakes, because that's why I'm here. I'm going to correct you. And it's okay. There's no reason to be embarrassed, because, I sometimes say, that's why your mom sent you here. That's why your mom paid me, because for you to practice speaking. And then they're going to, slowly, understand that. And yeah, that's right. Because when they feel safe and comfortable, they'll start opening up little by little. Now, when you're in an actual class, there are things you can do to help shy students feel more comfortable. And one of the best ways? Yes, you have to make them laugh. All kids love to be funny. And humor can break down those walls. I remember my student Dora. She was very shy and quiet. But the moment she saw my goofy side, her eyes lit up. When we show our fun and playful side, it humanizes us. And it helps students feel more comfortable and relaxed in the classroom. I mean, you can relate to that. I think, if we can put ourselves when we were students, and I think most of us could agree that the teacher that we like is that one teacher that made us laugh, the one that's funny, the one that showed his or her vulnerable side, because we can relate to that teacher. Oh, he or she is a human too, like me, there's no difference. And that's what we want our students to feel. Now, let me show you an activity from level 1. This is a sentence pattern practice. Okay? So, as you can see here, you've got to be goofy. You have to laugh out loud. Because, when you do that, your students would really feel comfortable, and your student would realize that you're not a scary, intimidating teacher. You're somebody they can feel safe with and be themselves around. And I think you, me, every one of us, that's what we want, right? It's all about feeling comfortable and feeling safe, and the validation that I can be myself in this classroom. So the sentence patterns are actually designed for younger students, and you can make it really, depends on your style as well. You can make it, you can customize it, you can make it yours. So whatever your personality is, you can just apply that in that sentence pattern. Also, you could start with guided, like what I said, the sentence patterns, and also the dialogues. Dialogues are very important because it makes the student feel comfortable right away. These boost their confidence because they don't have to think of answers on their own. They get really scared when they have to think and formulate sentences on their own right away. They get to read and follow your lead. So that's why dialogues are really, really helpful for shy students to get them speak. Yes. Question and answer exercises with answers provided also works very well. So for the questions, you want the questions to be open-ended, right? These are great for conversations, but they can feel intimidating for shy students, to be very honest, because they would be quiet. There would be like, what do you call that? Like, just dead zone. Just quiet time. Like, all right, if you're not talking, it's really quiet. They often know the answer. Yes. They're just unsure of themselves. They're afraid of making mistakes because I think they're used to, maybe the environment in their classroom, the face-to-face class, is like, when you make mistakes, it's really scary. They feel very embarrassed. So that's why when they are in your classroom, they still have that thinking. So how do you help them? You have to model the answer. You have to model the answer, and it's like you show them this is how you answer it. So, for example, there's a question. Let's say, okay, what are the activities that you like to do every Sunday? They're not going to say anything. No. 0. Right? So what you can do is you can say, oh, I like to read books every Sunday. I like to play with my dog every Sunday. Yeah. And let me show you here an example of an open-ended question from this material that I'm using right here. So the open-ended questions, like what I said, it's important to model the answer so you can give your students the idea of how to answer it in that, kind of calms them down and make them feel comfortable when it is their time to answer that question. Okay? All right, now, what else can we do here? A fun game. So if you have a really fun game, that's going to be a huge hit, even for my shyest students. Just laugh out loud. Okay, so when you have a fun game, you want to make it fun. It's you just gotta laugh out loud, you know, like your authentic self. This activity helps break the ice and encourages participation in a fun, stress-free way. So let me show you how we use it in class. Okay, so this game is really funny. This is actually not a game. This is the sentence pattern part, but I would introduce this to my student like a game. I say, okay, now we're gonna play a game. So the sentence patterns, I would say, we're gonna be like actors here. Now you need to choose one emotion or feeling. You want to be happy, sad, scared, embarrassed, any emotions you can choose. And so maybe your student would say, I want to choose excited. All right, you say, yeah, excited. All right, so let's say the sentence pattern is, the question would be, what's the weather today? Right? So you want to do that in an excited manner. So you go, what's the weather today? And they really love it. And then when you're sad, they pick it and they're so excited. Another thing with that is kids like to choose. They like to have that authority to decide. And so, you know, you can have this student do the question and answer. But with mine, I do the question because you want to model, and then the answer would be the student. So I say, because we're excited. And then she's going to go, you know, and then we laugh after that. And then I would have her choose again another feeling. Sad, you know, then don't be scared to look really silly. You're not going to look your best because you're quite small. And then you have the sad emotion that you have to show your ugliest in your perception. Your ugliest look. They love it. Yes, you can definitely make every activity funny. You know, like even if with a very shy student. Like I have this student, his name is John. He's super shy. He needs a lot of encouragement when it comes to speaking. But the moment we start this game, he suddenly speaks in full sentences. Yes, full sentences. And even starts joking around too. Yeah, it's amazing what a little fun game can do. So any games, any activities, whether it's the vocabulary practice, sentence pattern practice, the game itself, you have to make it really silly and exciting for them, right? And yeah, so we're talking about encouraging them how to speak up. I don't know if you know this, but one common trait of shy students, they whisper and don't open their mouths when speaking. So you need to remind them to speak louder. Okay? Encourage them to open their mouths when they talk. Because this small adjustments makes a huge difference in their clarity and confidence. Like just, you know, when just you know, even yourself, when you're speaking like, how are you today? You're not going to want to be like that in your class, right? It makes a difference. When you speak louder, you show confidence. How are you today, right? So yeah, just remind them because these kids don't know that. So they need to know how to actually say the sentences. Yeah. I know helping shy students speak up takes patience, encouragement, and a lot of fun activities. Yeah, but with the right approach, they'll slowly gain confidence. Yes, because I really believe in learning different things, whether it be language, sports, whatever. we need to have the confidence. That is like the very first thing we need to have. So for your students, they need to gain confidence and they would start engaging more in class. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is a really, really good question, Arda. I hope these tips help. And the fact that you're asking this question really show how thoughtful and dedicated you are as a teacher. Your students are so lucky to have you. And thanks again for your question, Arda. Thank you. All right, guys. Now, I feel like I've talked for hours, but we will go and move on to another question for today. Let me grab my phone here. All right, so this one is from Sabine. Oh, Sabine is in Dortmund. Is that how you say it? Dortmund, Germany. Okay, hello, Sabine. Yes, I hope you are actually watching right now, but if not, you can just watch this again and go visit our social channels. All right, so Sabine is asking here, how do I integrate vocabulary practice into speaking and writing? So, how do I integrate vocabulary practice into speaking and writing? Great question, Sabine. This is such an important skill to develop in ESL learners. Yeah, so when I teach, I always begin with vocabulary. Now, sometimes you'll have students who are between levels, right? Maybe level 1 is too easy, but level 2 is a bit too challenging. So in that case, I usually opt for a higher level 1 lesson where students are already somewhat familiar with the vocabulary. And then from there, I extend the lesson into speaking and writing activities to help them use the words in different ways. Yes, because they know that word, so they will have that confidence to actually make a sentence out of that word. So now you have speaking and writing and learning the vocabulary all at once, right? Now, let's say we're working on sea animals vocabulary. If I know my students is already familiar with the words, I'll ask follow-up questions to encourage them to think and speak more. For example, let's take the word, here, manta ray. Let's see here, one of my classes. So the question is, if you could ask a manta ray a question, what would you ask? Right? I mentioned earlier that